Welcome, I'm John Pifer, and this is another Mining Interactive special video taking a look at another company that in exploration is looking good. We've talked with him before, delighted to have the President and Chief Executive Officer from Tumi Resources Limited, David Henstridge. Welcome.
Thank you very much, John. Pleasure
Good
to be here
seeing you again.
Yes.
The Australian back and forth. You're flying up here, you're going back down there. But back down there is where you've got some pretty interesting news going on.
Definitely, yes. Mexico now, it's all happening after a fair period of time, as you're well aware.
Well, and one of the things that you've got this halfway stop between here and Mexico, you not only got one project in Mexico that's now moving to drilling, I think, has begun at La Trina. Yes. You have a second Mexican project. Tell me about both of those, how they're doing.
Yes, for sure. Yes. And as I said, over the last couple of years, we've really been trying hard to come up with some very good drill targets. And strangely enough, at the moment, we've probably got 4 on our books. But firstly, Mexico, La Trina, we started drilling. We got some phenomenal results down there a couple of years ago in a sort of a central core block on this Trini project, including, I think, 18 metres of 3 grams of gold and 150 of silver. It was quite a good result. We subsequently did geochem, extended the zone out to 1.5 kilometres, and now we're going to have a good look at the entire thing. Very interesting project.
Well, if I recall from La Trini, the initial drilling that you did reported mineralization virtually in every hole.
That's correct, yes, and it covered about 100 metres by 200 metres, that central core block that we drilled. And now, as I said, we've extended it out to 1.5 k's. So, you know, we're hopeful, and if the mineralisation can be extended in any direction, then we're looking at a very interesting project. And so that program's underway right now.
Right, and you're looking silver, gold, both?
Yes, it's both. It's a mix between the two.
Great.
It's roughly 1/3 gold, 2/3 silver. So 24 odd holes, maybe take another month or so to finish it.
What about the Phoenix project in Mexico? Yes. Where is it located, and what's the status there?
A really fascinating project. Sonora, which is up in the northern part of Mexico, is well known for large, low-grade gold systems with some silver with them. There are quite a few operating mines up there. Some of the locals will know them as Herradura and Uvio de Oro and San Francisco, etc. We specifically focused on that area for the last 6 months, and we came up with 2 areas that we really thought had a chance. Now, Phoenix was the first that we really focused on, and geochemical anomalies on a grid system. We've identified 5 layers extending more than 1.5 kilometres in length, and with the evidence we've got, we've decided to go straight to drilling. So as soon as La Trina is finished, we'll put in about 12 exploratory holes over this sort of entire area. So it's spreading it rather thinly, but let's have a look at it with a drill hole straight away.
And that'll be in the first quarter or so of 2007?
Well, if the Trini program takes about a month to finish, we'll take that rig straight up there and do it. So certainly, all in the first quarter. And we've now identified yet another one called Mazatlan, and we'll be focused on that as well. So we've actually got 3 sort of quite interesting projects in Mexico, all sort of getting close to the drill stage or at the drill stage.
Well, I certainly see that as exciting, as will investors, no question of it. And from earlier conversations with you, this is sort of a culmination of more than 2 years of just making sure you knew where you were looking and what you were looking for.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, we focused maybe 3 or 4 years ago on silver, and so we've had that sort of a bit of a bent, if you like, and we started in Mexico, and then of course we identified Sweden, as most of the people who know Tumi are aware of, about a year ago, and we've put also a very serious effort into Sweden over that last 1 year period, so much so that in his Bergslagen district near Stockholm, we've just completed 5 significant EM surveys on our blocks of ground, and that has all been done, and now we're sort of focused looking at those particular EM surveys to see what comes out of it. But I suppose shall we say, the jewel in the crown is Sala, and Sala was a 200 million ounce historical producer, which is one of the areas that we did cover with EM, and for me it's exciting because we have found targets within that block. So drilling, once again, is going to start there very soon in this first quarter.
Well, regular visitors to this website will know that you can see the examination, if you will, of Sala, this exceptional old mine in Sweden that looks like having a revival, to say the least. in all of these projects, it must be heartening to see silver prices and gold prices on the market holding quite strongly, that would then make it sensible to continue to explore, to look to develop.
Oh, of course. I mean, that was one of the reasons for getting involved in it back in 2001, is that we always thought at the time that gold and silver, particularly silver, because that's what we're focused on, would continue to increase in price as time went on. Well, those who look at just the long-term trends, of course, recognise that gold was $250 odd back in what is today above 600, and of course silver was around $4.50, and it's now 12.80 or something this morning. Oh, what a great improvement, and there's no sign at the moment anyway for breaking that trend. It all looks positive for us as explorers, yes. So we're happy with that.
One of the things I've been learning in the last couple of years of taking a look at mining companies, exploration, and all that is involved is that it isn't sort of an instant overnight thing, that the 2 years you've put into now, you then look at another 2 years from which you will get other results that keep heading toward a bigger result.
Of course, that's part of the process of building a company, and sometimes you can be unlucky enough to have nothing at drill stage at any one time, and then we're very lucky at the present time because we've got a large number of projects that are quite fascinating and justify this work. Now, of course, if you succeed, sometimes you tend to focus back on the one project and try and advance that and build your company from there. And if you don't, then I have no hesitation, as I'm sure a lot of old shareholders will be well aware, you must walk away from projects that you're not succeeding in and find the next generation. But that's all part of a junior exploration scene and philosophy of building up a company.
And always keeping the investor and the potential investor aware of just where you are at each stage.
Of course, that's right, yes. Well, that's all part of the public domain reporting these days. We have to do that anyway. You cannot hide anything. You must put it out, and as information becomes available, and the investor knows about it straight away. Yes.
Well, with 3 projects in Mexico, I'm going to have to bend his arm to get me on a flight down there just to see the properties, of course.
Oh yes, and it's fascinating. I mean, anybody would love them, and well, to me, more interesting is Sweden, of course, with the Sala silver mine, because you've got the historic mine that you can go down the lift to the 160-metre level and see how they mined that silver by fire in history. It's unbelievable, but yeah, there are some fascinating mining places in the world.
Well, there's a lot of fascinating things about Tumi Resources that you can find here on the Mining Interactive website, and of course on Tumi Resources Limited's website as well. My guest, David Henstridge, is the president and CEO of Tumi. Always a pleasure. Good to see you again.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll do this again in less than a year as we get results of what is coming through from all that you've heard here today.
Yes.
I'm John Pifer. I appreciate your time in having a look at what Tumi is up to. Join us again.